Good day to you all. Comrades and friends, this is Global Weekly News, serial number 32. First, we are going to look upon Israel's murders. This is 75th year of founding of Jewish state Israel. Israelis have occupied many parts of Gaza, West Bank, Jerusalem, etc. Palestinians are living as refugees in their own country. Palestinians have to cross apartheid walls of Israel and Israeli outposts to meet their families. 170 Palestinians were killed in the year 2022 by Israeli security forces. In January of this year, 29 Palestinians were killed, including 15 in Jenin. United Nations Special Coordinator for Peace in the Middle East has said that violence is on the increase since the beginning of the year and tensions have to be reduced to prevent further loss of lives. On 26th January, Israel's occupying forces raided Jenin refugee camp. During the raids, 9 Palestinians were killed, including 2 children. Jenin Youth Center and a martyrs monument were attacked. Israeli forces fired at the ambulance which was coming to rescue the wounded persons. Occupied areas, well, this term is used by United Nations. Israel is occupying areas of Palestine. Benjamin Netanyahu, the new Israeli Prime Minister, is leading a far-right coalition. This coalition wants to completely drive out the Palestinians from their lands. Israel has conducted recently military drills with USA. Second, we are going to see what is happening in Yemen. Yemen is a small country in southwest of the Arabian Peninsula. Saudi Arabia is in the north, Oman in the east, Arabian Sea in south, and Red Sea in northwest of Yemen. Sana'a is the capital of Yemen. Houthi ethnic people are dominating in part of Yemen. Sana'a is in this region. Iran is supporting Houthi rule in part of Yemen. Saudi Arabia, with support of United States, is attacking Houthi region of Yemen. Due to aerial raids by Saudi Arabia on Yemen, 3,000 Yemenis were either injured or killed in 2022 alone. Due to internal conflicts and wars, 50,000 died, including 50,000 died, including 4,000 children in Yemen. Millions of people got displaced. In 2022 October, due to UN intervention, ceasefire came into effect. At least 3 children and an adult were killed in an air raid by the Saudi-led coalition in a village on 24th January. The Houthi government issued a statement condemning the repeated attacks of the Saudi-led coalition. It also questioned Saudi Arabia's practice of denying such attacks and asked for the formation of an impartial international commission to investigate all crimes and to bring the perpetrators of the crimes to international justice. US and UK have been supplying arms and weapons to Saudi Arabia in the name of defensive weapons. More than half of Yemen's population are expecting international food aid. Third, we are going to see very important event, a happy event, CELAC 7th Summit in Argentina. Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, CELAC 7th Summit was held at Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, on 24th January. At the end of the summit, 33 CELAC member countries signed in the Buenos Aires Declaration to make Latin America and the Caribbean a community of sovereign nations. Their leaders reaffirmed their commitment to advance in regional integration and unity. During the summit, the leaders discussed common issues and how to overcome them through joint regional strategies such as consolidation of peace and democracy in the region, reduction of hunger and poverty, improvement of public health and education system, advancement of sustainable development in the face of climate change, strengthening of human rights, among others. The leaders condemned United States sanctions, economic, political, and financial sanctions on Cuba for the past 60 years. They stress that Cuba should be removed from the list of countries sponsoring terrorism. The leaders took the pledge to end colonialism in the region and to support the self-determination right of the people of Puerto Rico. When Bolsonaro was the president of Brazil, Brazil got disconnected with CELAC. Now, after Lula da Silva, the leftist Workers' Party leader, was sworn in as the new president on 1st January, he attended CELAC. Leaders welcomed back Brazil rejoining CELAC. During 2000s, when the first wave of progressive government formations in Latin America took place, the then Presidents Lula da Silva of Brazil and Chavez of Venezuela founded CELAC. The declaration does not mention anything about the political crisis in Peru because due to absence of unanimity. However, the presidents of Honduras, Mexico, Bolivia, Colombia emphasized the release of Pedro Castillo of Peru and an end to the oppression of people of Peru, protesting against the de facto government of Dina Boluarte. Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela decided to attend the summit, but the far-right leaders of Argentina objected to his visit. And Argentina's president, Alberto Fernandez, could not do anything in this regard. Therefore, Nicolas Maduro did not come to Buenos Aires. Instead, he took part in the summit through video conferencing. Organization of American States, OAS, is a pro-US organization. US is asking the rightist Peru government to supply arms to Ukraine. Brazil and Argentina discussed about common Latin American currency instead of US dollars. On 23rd January, another summit of 300 leaders from Latin American social movements, trade unions, and indigenous peoples movements that took part, that summit. These are good developments in Latin America. Comrades and friends, we are going to see how US police is having brutalities on the people, especially the black people. First, Police Training Center at Atlanta of United States. On 7th June 2021, Atlanta City in US introduced a city ordinance to lease 381 acres of public land to the Atlanta Police Foundation for a police training facility budgeted at $8.06 crore. This ordinance was met with massive public opposition. On 16th June 2021, Atlanta residents gave their comments in the form of pre-recorded messages. Most comments opposed the project. The construction of the training facility would cut down part of Atlanta's South River, which provides environmental protection against flooding and extreme heat. On 6th September 2021, Atlanta residents called in over 17 hours worth of public comment regarding the new training facility ordinance. Of the 1,166 comments called in, 70% of them were opposed to the project. The Atlanta City Council ignored the overwhelming opposition and voted in favor of the project. The price of the project has since ballooned up to $9 crore. In the training facility, police will practice urban warfare tactics. The facility will include a helicopter landing pad, explosive testing areas, firing range, and an emergency vehicle driving course. Almost half of Atlanta residents being African American black people, 18.5% of Atlantans live in poverty, a rate higher than the American national average of 11.6%. Atlanta is the most surveilled city in the country with 11,000 CCTV cameras. The anti-police brutality protests following the murder of George Floyd in 2020 caused a cultural shockwave, forcing the most powerful corporations like Amazon, UPS, etc. release statements condemning police violence and racism. Some of those corporations have become the most significant backers of police training facility at Atlanta. One forest defender, Tortuguita, was killed on 18th January. Activists are demanding an investigation into the murder of Tortuguita. Forest defenders have been beaten, pepper sprayed, violently arrested, or otherwise attacked by police since June 2021. On 21st January, people protested in the streets. The officials of the right stigmatized the protesters as terrorists. Next, we are going to see the arrest of 5 police officers in US. They are all black police officers. In 2022 alone, 1,176 people were killed by police brutalities in United States of America. This is the highest figure in US history. Very rarely police officials are made responsible for this. In 98% of police murders from 2013 to 2022, no charges were made against the police. Memphis is a city in United States in the state of Tennessee. Memphis. In this city, 5 police officers tortured Tyre Nichols, a black man, on the pretext of violation of traffic rules. Tyre Nichols died after 3 days. The autopsy revealed that there is bleeding inside the body. People of Memphis and all over US demanded the arrest of the culprits, the police officers. On 28th January, 5 police officers were suspended, and on 26th January, they were arrested also. All the 5 officers are black men. Suppose if white police murders a black man, there will be no intervention by the state. The 9.5-minute video showing the police strangulating the throat of George Floyd came in public in 2020. Then the protests got intensified. Similarly, after the release of video on Tyre Nichols on 27th January, there will be massive protests. So fearing that, government arrested the 5 police officers. We are going to a new country, Swaziland. Swaziland is a landlocked country in South Africa. Only 14 lakh residents are there. Swati III is the king of Swaziland. There was an uprising against the king's rule in 2021. Thulani Mesako, a lawyer and human rights activist, was shot dead in his home on 21st January. Thulani Mesako was a member of People's United Democratic Movement, Pudimo. This is the largest political party in Swaziland. Pudimo is one of the democratic coalition. This is banned by the king. Thulasi Mesako played a big role in uniting this coalition. Tulasi Mesako struggled for human rights in a peaceful manner. He was jailed many times. Congress of South African Trade Unions, COSATU, has declared that it will help the fight for a free democratic Swaziland. Lastly, we are going to see the visit by Chinese foreign minister to African countries. Qin Gang is the new foreign minister of China. He was previously ambassador to United States. He visited Ethiopia, Gabon, Angola, Benin and Egypt on January 9 to 16. He met Secretary General of Arab League in Egypt. In the past 30 years, every year Chinese foreign minister had been visiting Africa. China desires close relations with Africa. US is competing with China in increasing its influence in Africa. Last December, Joe Biden, the American president, convened an Afro-American summit in Washington, D.C. Qin Gang inaugurated a health center in Ethiopia. He issued a statement, very important statement, that Africa should be a stage for international cooperation, not an arena for major force rivalry. Mali Mali and Burkina Faso in the Sahel region of Africa have ordered evacuation of French troops. Africans desire that Africa shall not be an arena of proxy wars. US is irritated over the statement of Chinese foreign minister. US is sending high-level officials to Africa. Thank you for patiently listening. See you next week. Lal Salam.